In Penal Code Section 207, California law defines kidnapping as moving a victim a substantial distance against their will, accomplished by means of force or threats of violence. Now, it becomes aggravated kidnapping, a much more serious charge, if the victim is under 14 years of age, or is being held for ransom, or if the person who's kidnapped is ultimately injured or killed. If you're convicted in California of kidnapping for ransom, if you're holding someone for ransom, that offense carries life in prison. So it's one of the most serious crimes in the California Penal Code. Now, one element of kidnapping is that the victim has to be moved a substantial distance. So it can't be just a situation where they're moved from one room of a house to another room, moved just a few feet and held. That may be false imprisonment, but the person has to be moved. In defining whether it's a substantial distance, the law does say, however, that the jury can consider whether the danger to the victim was substantially increased. So there was a case, for example, where a person was kidnapped, was sort of taken hostage inside a big nightclub, and was taken out to an alley outside of the club. And the court said it was only a couple hundred feet distance that the person was moved, but they were moved from a big nightclub where there was a lot of people and relative safety to this secluded alley where the danger was substantially increased. Since the danger was increased, the requirement of substantial distance was lessened. Now, there's a number of defenses to a kidnapping case that we've used successfully in the past. One is, a lot of times there's false accusations. A lot of times a person has ulterior motives for explaining why they went missing, and they make an accusation of kidnapping that really isn't true. And we've seen that quite a bit. Another defense is that there was consent, that the alleged victim really agreed to go along with the person who was accused, and it wasn't against their will, it wasn't, because of force or fear, but it was really consensual. Another defense that we've used successfully in the past for kidnapping charges is that our client was merely present. So it may be a situation where our client happened to be at the location where the victim was kidnapped, but somebody else did the kidnapping, and our client was not in on it, and our client had no intention of kidnapping anybody, but simply happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. If we can establish any of these defenses, we should be able to get the charges reduced or dismissed.